What's good YouTube? And welcome to an absurd amount of crazy price hikes and price falls. Usually it's a ban list that causes something like this, but it's all around OTS Pack 21 for the most part, and Fenrir is down bad right now. And you might be surprised if you weren't watching the channel. We already talked about how people were selling off their playsets heading in after seeing the Photon Hypernova cash tier prices and going, nope, I'm not paying that. So competition was already rising. Then Fenrir got an amazing looking ultimate rare. So you're going to have competitive players already selling off their ultras going, you know what? I know I'm going to be getting those ultimate rares. And also other people thinking, well, it's going to bring the price down a bit. Ultimate rares usually don't do it all that much, but Sprite Blue is also coming down after going into a spike. And this can be twofold. It can be banless speculation and fears of, well, it was doing really good. It has an ultimate that could bring down the price a little. And you know what? I am scared of that ban list. They might try to really make Cash Tier come in hot for the WCQ season. So with that, you see Sprite Blue starting to fall down all the way to $40 with a ton of listings set up on the front page just under that. I don't think we've ever seen OTS Pack Ultimates do this heavy of lifting pretty much ever. The last thing I can actually remember helping a price like this is Thunder Dragon Colossus, maybe. And of course, you also had ban lists and other stuff going on there with that, right? Now, into the commons, Gishki Aqua Mirror, you love to see it. Everybody was talking about how this needed a reprint, and here it comes crashing on down. $6, and it's probably going to keep going down from there. However, they did kind of miss Gishki Abyss, and that is going absolute ape right now. I feel like with this card, it's getting overhyped. It's that knee-jerk reaction of, it was already going up, and oh my gosh, they missed it. They missed it. Can you believe it? Well, is this deck really going to be doing all that much? Maybe a couple of tops here and there, but I look at the actual decks it's competing against. Yes, a lot of people have been waiting for some time, but this is a ridiculous reaction in my opinion that it is starting to respike. Photon Sanctuary, I used to love seeing this card in bulk. It's getting reprinted in here as common, and I gotta say, this was a free lunch every single time I saw it look up at me. I was like, we're going to Taco Bell, we're going to Chicken Express back in college. This was always great to see, and it'll probably still over time appreciate a little if it doesn't get a mass reprint from its new common, but for the immediate, it should be bringing it back down a little. And they really tied the timing well with Photon Sanctuary. This feels like one of the best thought out OTS packs ever when we're looking at all of these values. Commons, you have the little pink turtle guy, he's out here. He was just recently used in a metagame combo that was ridiculous with the mannequin cat that is also super in the OTS pack. So there you go, $5 no more, hopefully. Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser was also a solid 5, and here it comes down a little bit. It's been headed down though, not the biggest sales rates, and it was a card that never had a reprint here, I believe. And then you also have Galaxy Expedition, only 2 printings, Galaxy Photon stuff hyped into the set, and here it goes down, down, down. Sacred Sword of 7 stars. We were talking about this, both the common and the gold letter rare were starting to spike on up in anticipation for Cash Tira. Here's an easy access reprint at your locals. Again, I gotta say, this common list, like never before, the ultimates actually impacting the price of the cards. This is great, and I do like some of the super upgrades. And while the set itself might not age the best because of how meta tight it is at the top, I really, really like what they did in the immediate with it. And again, Fenrir, pretty generic, so I do think that this price dip might be a pretty good time to pick it up heading into banless season, especially if the other decks do get hit harder to make way for this, but that's still speculation. That's why we're not a financial advisor. I don't know the future of banless. I don't know what Konami's going to do with them. They could go completely the other way, where the other decks aren't hit barely anything, or they even hit stuff not directly with Cash Tier, but around it, that ends up hurting it. You never know what Konami is going to do with the ban list. All you can do is try to say, I told you so. Labyrinth, Welcome Labyrinth is $40. There's been a lot of buyouts around the deck, and yes, you're getting more support, but oh my freaking gosh, 40. People just don't want to open these side sets because they're not worth it, and the singles are going absolutely absurd for what they are. Now, this is doing well in the OCG thanks to how ban list developed, and people are hoping that will translate over here. I do wonder if it will, but look at this. It's almost passing Runic Fountain Collector Rare. If you told me that 3 months ago, I just straight up would not have believed you at all that that could be possible. Oh man. Small World is a huge meme on Twitter. Every single day, I see you all make some new combo or some point out of it, and while we've talked about it as a penny stonk on Market Watch, it is continuously going up here from both the Megatins and its OG version. I think the OG's at like 8 now versus the Prismatic Secret Rare being half that price, but every single day there's a combo on that, and memes equals dollars in this community. So with Twitter really pouring onto the meme, they might do it even harder to like see how high they can make this go, but on paper it's a really cool card. It's been in the metagame before. It probably at some point in the future will be in a metagame, and the question then is, will it get a reprint again before that happens, or will it just end up spiking in price, or will it actually see that time in the meta? Really, really great card, but oh my gosh, like, just crazy how it's starting to like go that way. Chaos Hunter out of Mavens is spiking on up. People want that ultra rare, and it does look really good in that ultra rare. It's the second highest rarity, I believe, actually, as a printing, and it's a really great hand trap, and a lot of people are on it within the metagame. Now, we have Divine Carnate here again. It's going back up, and this has been super controversial. People saying it'll be good, people saying it'll be bad and not do that much, people saying it'll be somewhere in between and taking soft guesses. I think this card had a lot of potential at $5, even towards $8, $10. I would see why you would want access to this. At $20, you better have tested before you invested and decided, yeah, this is going to be it for me against this deck. I'm definitely using it over here when I'm going first, second, whatever. You've got to decide what you are doing with this card before you spend this kind of money on a playset with it, in my opinion. And honestly, I think it is getting a little overhyped at this point. It ended up falling somewhat out of favor in the OCG last I knew, but the OCG keeps changing at a ridiculous pace. And a lot of its locals coverage, that doesn't get covered enough. That a lot of the results that people get so hyped over and spend so much money on are a couple of local tournaments. So like, don't always take results at like that face value of, oh, this must have been like a YCS regional level thing and this is definitely going to go somewhere. Like, do always look at what you are spending into. But I do think for its potential when it was cheaper, pretty darn good. At this point, we're going to have to wait to see what it is doing. I'm taking that soft approach myself. Mind Control is going up here, and this is a I forgot the word. Help me out. It's on the screen. Promo! It's actually not on the screen. It just says World Championship. But when it comes down to this and Change of Heart as well, apparently people are thinking about it in the upcoming meta, and this isn't just for past formats. Now, Pharaoh's rares have also begun to get targeted for buyouts. I think Change of Heart Secret Rare is a pretty natural one there. Legacy in the game, Chaos format. You have a lot of people who love this card as well, but people are talking about using these on boards. I think the all-encompassing ones that flip everything down are probably a little better, but I get why this is also universal in people's opinions on being able to actually deal stuff, take resources in situations and positions, and then get to use it. I get why people, especially, you know, on paper or even testing, have found these to be really good. Now, it could also just be a mix of it could be good past format and future format, and it not necessarily have panned out in testing too. So let me know in the comment section down below, do you think these two are going to take off in the future metagame? I really have not seen them in testing, so I don't have enough experience to talk to these, but they came up in the Discord. People have noticed that some versions are spiking, and on Change of Heart in specific, I would like to point out that Metal Raiders is going to get rewaved not only in its own individual boxes, but also in those legendary collections. So a lot of unlimited nice ultra rare Change of Hearts are about to appear somewhere, so I wouldn't be rushing out after Change of Hearts unless you know you have like an old copy and that's your preference, because you could also get sold like a 2017 MRD copy from those legendary collections or something like that, to where it would be pretty obsolete after the 25th reprint. So do consider that. There's more Change of Heart foils that are coming in the future, and I wouldn't necessarily blindly rush unless it's a version like Secret Rare that you know you want for your past format deck as well, but that Ultra should help it. Speaking of Photon Hypernova, we have Orbital going up in price. I remember when this was so ridiculous for ABCs and it was hitting just the most absurd prices. It got a reprint in Legendary Duelist Season 2, and that's one of the more expensive Legendary Duelist seasons that has gone up over time, and this is one of the pricier cards in there. It's kind of ridiculous to me how history is repeating itself with this card, but it's starting to get kind of funny once again as people actually do want to play the theme of the set. Big surprise. Now, TCG player pre-sales are heating up pretty fast and competitively. A lot of people looked around and were like, how much money is in this set? Look at that chop up. Player Brain versus Market Brain Vandalist. Screw it. I'm listing around what Gamer's Choice did. And you see Tactics at 80 just like they had it up. You see the Pressured Planet and also the Kashtira Theosis. I probably murdered that name, but they're starting to kind of separate a bit in price there. Like I said, they should be on an estimated value pulled chop up, and I do see that Gamer's Choice has also put those further apart after I pointed that out. They have it at 6.9, still not so nice. I think this deck's way too expensive, and then 50. I think with so many good cards in terms of value, again, you'll see one like at 70, 80, and then one fall out towards like 30, and even the other card could fall down to 60 where it's a $180 playset, right? Like, a lot of these could come on down in price for sure. Gravekeeper Inscription is around that $30 mark, but I see a lister at 25. Let's see. Yep, those are true 25s. I did say I thought this would be coming down to around 18 on launch. I saw DB Grinder saying it could go up from 30. He's been on that Market Watch content. Shout outs to him. I want to see who's right on that one because it is a very interesting card, but here during pre-sales, it's already coming on down under that, and it's kind of a weird card placed into the history of the game versus long-term people who are also going to want it, right? Gravekeeper players do not love spending money, though. I will tell you that. Mono Iwado is actually running out of quantities on the Mega Pack version and slowly going up here on its regular. The only thing I can think of besides, yeah, great on paper card, you want access to it, is it's getting played a lot in Master Duel, and people might be trying out that Runic deck in paper in real life. Runic, I don't think is going to be taking over completely, but it's still a deck that if you don't watch out for it, could definitely end up doing some damage. Mono Iwado, though, only has those two printings. Kind of wild to think about and see. And finally, a card that was activated on me in Runic, only has one printing, can be super annoying to play against if they have the right setup, but that's really situational. Best of one's going to take bigger advantages of that. This card, though, it's a Performapal Magician card that is a Pendulum card. It's an interesting one, and I think having access to this, just even as a meme slash having access to the card, probably a good card to have in your collection at just 50 cents. I would think about picking that up slowly, not rushing at them or buying a ton, just having a couple for yourself set to the side. Really interesting card that I think gets forgot in history. I remember there's like locks with that in some Morgue as well, and cheap fun decks you can end up playing out with it at the worst. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. And that's why I love playing around. Like, you end up running into cards you forget about. You look it up and you're like, really? You only have that one printing? And then thinking about it may be way too much. That's player brain versus market brain, though. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. So many price falls. This is one of the OTSs of all time, and it's a pretty good one for launching.